Hello once again YouTube, Chris the Nightbringer here bringing you some StarMade today. It's New Eden Fleetworks and it's been a little hectic with my channel lately because there's two things that are happening that I'll real quick go into a little bit. First off, I have been posting a little bit less of the content and I will soon be fixing that. It's just, currently life, busy, that type of stuff. And, it just gets in the way of the channel. But hopefully I can fix that soon. You'll be seeing content more regularly like you used to about a few weeks ago. And that would be great. But the second thing that has happened with my channel that I really want to thank you guys about is the fact that, for some reason, regardless as to how much content has been produced over the past few weeks, the number of views has been constantly going up. And I don't know what it is that I'm doing or somebody else is doing. It's just, again, it goes up and there's no explanation for it because it's the exact opposite of what I would expect with less content being posted. So, that's what's happening with the channel. I am almost up to 1,000 views a day, which hasn't happened for a very long time. Oh, I think it's been a year since I've had 1,000 views per day. And I'm hoping to keep that trend going. So if I have to post more stuff and make a sacrifice in, my daily life, I'm willing to do that. So, with that all being said, let's get into what I wanted to show you today. So this is the Caldari Ibis, this is the wireframe. I'm not sure how much of this I've shown you in the past, I can't remember, but here it is. So, if we look inside, I've gotten some of the internal structure done. This big purple section that you see in front of you is going to be the windshield, right? The big glass view screen in the front. It's a little bit larger than I anticipated. And this is full scale, this is how big it's supposed to be in EVE compared to the other ships. But it just seems a little big to me, I'm not gonna lie. For a rookie frigate, this thing is almost bigger than a lot of frigates, like regular frigates. And it's a little bit big to me, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's gonna be a bitch to fill the systems in because frankly the modules on this ship are gonna have very little effect. They're hardly gonna affect how well this ship's performs, so I don't know, that's something I have to think about as well. There's not much I can do about it, but that's something I'm going to have to deal with. So, we have the cockpit area. I'm thinking I might elevate this above a lower floor. I'm not sure. There is a little bit of the windshield that extends down below. If we come up here, this is where I plan on having crew quarters, which are going to be a little bit more spacious. A stairwell that leads up. Obviously, the core is in its improper place at the moment. We have the drone bay here, which has doors in the back here, represented by white and purple. And then above it we have the cargo bay, so if we come back down here we can go up this stairwell into the cargo bay with cargo areas on the sides. It holds 125 cubic meters of cargo, so that is represented by this stuff here. And there's a lot of stuff on this ship. It's pretty spacious still. I mean, look how much room I have to play with. I don't know what to do with all this space, to be completely honest. I mean, I might be able to fit in some more rooms or something, like a passenger area. I don't know. It's just too much space, and to be honest, the way I'm fitting the ships, it's probably not going to get filled that much. It really isn't, I don't know, maybe it is just because of the sheer amount of exterior hull, but the interior hull and interior stuff does not take up that much space compared to the whole of the interior volume. So, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. If I have room to add more stuff, I'll totally do that. I'll add engineering sections maybe for the modules. That would be kind of neat, actually, now that I think about it, because that is something that I want to start implementing on ships, and this ship definitely has the space. So, that is the Caldari Ibis, and that is not the entire focus of this episode. The rest of the episode, I want to focus on this over here. So you may be asking yourself, what is this? And I will orient myself properly so that I can take a look at this. This is a Caldari space station from EVE Online, and anyone that's played EVE Online and has come across a Caldari space station, this is most likely one that you've seen. This is currently scaled down to 1% of its actual size. I'm not kidding you, 1%. This thing is currently at its longest axis 1 kilometer, and the actual station is 100 kilometers on its longest axis, or as it is stated in EVE. So this is a huge fucking station, guys. It is really big, and I love it because it's one of the craziest shapes, and seeing it in StarMade is something else. you know, once I actually get to this station, which will be probably far off in the future, you know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to, you know, translate this into an actual functioning place, which, you know, you can. I mean, there's enough room in here for a Caldari shuttle to fly in and dock up, and maybe a few fighters, who knows. Not a full ship, not a full frigate like it's supposed to. I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure a full, like, freighter, a full freighter, which is like 3 kilometers long, some of them, is like no bigger than, oh, I don't know, a few blocks long in terms of the scale. Compared to this thing, it's a few blocks long, you know, and that's a few kilometers, and you know, it's just ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. In fact, I believe if a freighter is 3 kilometers long, 10% of that is 30? No, 1% of that should be 30. 30 meters long. It's not very big, you know? I mean, it doesn't take up a lot of space in there, and that's just a freighter. My Ibis is, I don't know, 60 meters long, 70 meters long. So 1% of that is like, it's like a block. So it's ridiculous. It's absolutely nuts to think about how massive these stations are. So I'm going to load in the other two. Hopefully it doesn't load it in at an awkward angle. Oh. We'll call it Swag 2, because that's just the easiest naming convention, I suppose. So here's another station. Does look like it's facing a different direction. So this is another Caldari station. This particular one is 51 kilometers on its longest axis. And it is quite the unique shape right here. See, the thing about Eve stations is they got some crazy shapes. I mean, the other one has like a city in the back, and I'll show you that if you missed it in a moment. But this thing, like, there's like lights that are quite obviously like rooms and hallways and, you know, interior levels of the station that fill this. But it's like, how do you even navigate a structure that goes diagonally? Like, do they have actual special elevators or staircases that work that way? I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I know they have that in real life, but the fact that they just decided to put that in a space station, and it's just nuts. It's really cool, but it's nuts. So yeah, this thing is a little bit more towering than the other one, and I think that's going to be really fun to build. And you know, this is more suited for a StarMade style, I think. This one right here, even though it's got this weird shape right here, which may be hard to you know, implement. This whole structure on the right is just, I don't know, there's something about it that really wants me to build it and, you know, work on it. And I mean, for all I know, this is a hangar right here, but I doubt anything I build is going to be able to fit in that. And it just looks really nice. This is the main hangar that you exit from and enter from in Eve, and basically your ship spawns here when you exit the station. You float away, you know, you fly out of the station. And that's what it looks like. So that's the second station that I have imported. I have not imported all of them. I just wanted to show you them. This, again, is at 1%. And we will spawn in the third station. We'll call it Swag 7. Now, this station is a little bit more, I don't know, it's spread out a little bit. It's not as much of a solid structure, or so it seems. And we'll see if we can get it loaded up. And actually, I'm gonna get rid of that one. And as you can see, this one is, again, like I said, spread out quite a bit. And this is also 1%. I believe this one at its longest axis is 790 meters in game at 1%. 79 kilometers in Eve. I believe this right here is the main hangar that you enter and exit from. I don't encounter this space station that often in Eve, so, you know, there's probably details on it that I'm missing. But there are some pretty interesting things going on with this thing. For example, this structure right here, when I looked at the picture, I thought this was a solid shape, and it actually is not. It looks kind of like some sort of core. I should probably be doing this with my HUD off. And look at that. It's just interesting, you know? Not something the conventional player, you know, the average player, I should say, thinks of. in StarMade, you know? Things like that. Players in StarMade often think of solid structures, really solid structures. You know, space stations and spaceships as really solid structures, and only a few times have I seen spaceships in StarMade that are very disconnected. You know, they're all very thin and fragile looking. This station in some cases does look pretty fragile. I mean, there's like lots of antennas. There's definitely room for some greeble and stuff, which is nice. But this entire structure right here is held on by this arm, which looks pretty fragile. And in terms of what I can accomplish in StarMade, that's actually like the perfect size for a hallway. So this entire structure on my model will just be connected by a hallway. It's not going to be like some mega structure, you know, because I'm pretty sure that this hallway on my model, full scale, would be like, it could be as thick and as wide and as tall and as wide as this station is right now. That's how big that hallway could be. I don't know. It's just nuts to think, you know, why do you need a hallway that big? Why? Yeah, who knows? It's a space station in Eve, and it's, you know, potentially housing thousands, if not millions of people. You know, it gets nuts. The Eve is just crazy like that. It really is. So, this is just something I wanted to show you. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm gonna jump back over here and I'll show you the little city that's on this space station. Because this is a city. It's a flying city floating around in space. I mean, look at this. That is a city on a space station, which in itself, like, what? They got some crazy imagination to think that, aside from all of this massive structure, they needed to have a flat platform and a city on it. It's just nuts. Because, like, can you imagine the view? Can you imagine looking down kilometers and seeing a platform? Or being on this side of the building and looking up and seeing that looming over you? Imagine if that was kilometers away. It's like looking at the other end of the halo ring while you're standing on it. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So, that is what stations look like from Eve, and that's just a few of them. I've only got 3 imported so far because I haven't found out the sizes of the other ones, and well, frankly, I was lazy about it, and I didn't want to bother with all of them at once, considering the fact that I won't be finished with these anytime soon. So, I'm hoping, you know, I can continue working on ships. The plan is, and I hope I can accomplish this goal, but I have no guarantees. The plan is to release all the frigates by the time that StarMade goes to Steam full scale and gets fully publicized and everything. That's the plan. That's what I'm hoping I will be able to accomplish. If I can't get there, then oh well. But I'm hoping that by then I will have an actual fleet to present to people. I plan on making special videos aside from my cinematics that will be done in the same cinematic format, which will feature the groups of ships that I've completed, such as all the Caldari frigates, all the Omar frigates, the Minmatar, and the Galente frigates will all have their own cinematics, where you'll be able to, you know, see not only some combat, but other things that these frigates are used for. It'll do all the Eve, you know, nice looking cinematic stuff that I already do, but it'll be on a bigger scale. Maybe I'll even make some machinimas. That's a far off in the future thing, but that's, you know, something that I've been thinking about. And yeah, I really want you guys to be able to have like a small fleet by the time that StarMade goes big. That's the plan. You know, so far my current rate is 1 ship a week. That's not good enough. I'm gonna have to bump that up somehow. And to be completely honest, I'm actually relatively close to finishing the probe as well as the burst. So maybe, you know, in some cases, I'll be able to accomplish that goal. It depends on the complexity of the ship. But I really, really want to push for that goal. And tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I can do it. Well, tell me what you think of these stations. Tell me what you think of everything that I've just mentioned. So, thanks for watching. I guess that's it for now. I'm gonna get a nice shot of this space station here, and we're gonna call it a day. Subscribe if you haven't, if you want to see more of this stuff, and I'm Chris the Nightbringer. and I'll see you next time. Hello once again YouTube, Chris the Nightbringer here bringing you some StarMade today. It's New Eden Fleetworks and it's been a little hectic with my channel lately because there's two things that are happening that I'll real quick go into a little bit. First off, I have been posting a little bit less of the content and I will soon be fixing that. It's just, currently, since I've had 1,000 views per day, and I'm hoping to keep that trend going. So if I have to post more stuff and make a sacrifice in, my daily life, I'm willing to do that. So, with that all being said, let's get into what I wanted to show you today. So, this is the Caldari Ibis, this is the wireframe. I'm not sure how much of this I've shown you in the past, I can't remember, but here it is. So, if we look inside, I've gotten some of the internal structure done. This big purple section that you see in front of you is going to be the windshield, right? The big glass view screen in the front. It's a little bit larger than I anticipated. And this is full scale. This is how big it's supposed to be in Eve compared to the other ships. But it just seems a little big to me, I'm not gonna lie. For a rookie frigate, this thing is almost bigger than a lot of frigates, like regular frigates. The number of views has been constantly going up, and I don't know what it is that I'm doing or somebody else is doing. Like, it's just, again, it goes up and there's no explanation for it because it's the exact opposite of what I would expect with less content being posted. So, that's what's happening with the channel. I am almost up to 1,000 views a day, which hasn't happened for a very long time. Oh, I think it's been a year. Life, busy, that type of stuff. And, it just gets in the way of the channel. But hopefully I can fix that soon. You'll be seeing content more regularly like you used to about a few weeks ago. And that would be great. But the second thing that has happened with my channel that I really want to thank you guys about is the fact that, for some reason, regardless as to how much content has been produced over the past few weeks,